Hi guys, welcome back to the School for Finance. In this video I'm going to be talking about Bitcoin, looking at the pros and the cons, and then ultimately coming to a conclusion as to whether or not I think it's a good investment. So Bitcoin is a type of cryptocurrency, and as you may or may not know, a cryptocurrency is a digital currency. They're usually decentralized, so they're not under any type of government control. And in the case of Bitcoin, it has a limited supply, so there's only going to be 21 million Bitcoins ever created. Now, Bitcoin recently, it's been having quite a strong increase. So at the start of the pandemic, around the end of March, it was at $4,000, and now it's at $18,000, so that's a 400% increase in price. Nearly 400%. Now, in 2017, the same thing happened, but we'll be talking about that later. First, let's talk about the pros of Bitcoin. So one is, as I've mentioned, the limited supply. Now, anyone who understands simple economics would know that a low supply with a high demand would give an exponential increase in price. Now, the fact that Bitcoin is very scarce means that, like gold, it could be viewed as an investment, a hedge against inflation, or any good investment that is scarce, and meaning that it would increase in value over time as it gets less common and more rare. So one is the fact that it has a limited supply. Another is a very strong factor in 2020, and that is quantitative easing. So if you don't know what quantitative easing is, I've explained it in one of my other videos on how money is created, but essentially it's when the banks print money out of nowhere, money that they don't have, and what that does is over time that will cause them to be more money circulation in the country, which causes inflation because the money is more common, so the prices of goods will increase, and that causes inflation, obviously. And now, traditionally, gold is seen as a hedge against inflation because the gold is measured against the dollar. So if the dollar gets weaker, gold gets stronger, and vice versa. So if in times of inflation, the dollar would go down, so in that, the gold would go up. It's the same thing with Bitcoin. If the dollar goes down, Bitcoin would go up, and it's viewed as a safe investment asset to own to hedge against inflation. Now, another massive pro for this year is the fact that lots of institutions and big banks are getting in. Now, 3 years ago, one of the JP Morgan's key bankers, he said that Bitcoin was just a scam and it was only for drug dealers or any other criminals. But then this year he said he was going to invest billions into Bitcoin. So that's quite a change of events. And it's certainly very bullish for Bitcoin now that the key banks, JP Morgan, Swiss Bank, etc., are all getting in. Another thing is the integration with PayPal and Square. So PayPal, if you haven't realized yet, PayPal lets you buy and sell and hold cryptocurrencies, which is massive considering that the PayPal customer base is in the hundreds of millions of users, which would drastically increase the ownership of Bitcoin if even only a fraction of those people owned it and bought stuff with it. Same thing with Square. If you don't know Square, it's another platform such as PayPal. It owns Cash App, and that is starting to use Bitcoin in its transactions, and it actually owns quite a bit of Bitcoin as well. And now let's look at the cons about Bitcoin. One is it might just be a repeat of 2017. So if you're not aware, 2017 is when the crypto boom happened. So coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc., they all went parabolic. Bitcoin went from $1,000 to $20,000 in the space of 6 months. And about 7 months later, it went back down to $3,000. Now, why? That was because people were rushing in. People were getting hyped over Bitcoin, thinking that it it would reach $1 million or something, and some people were even going into debt to try and buy Bitcoin, thinking that it's guaranteed to go up. Now we're looking at the same thing now again. It might just be a bubble waiting to burst. People are just getting in from the fear of missing out and just to try and gain maximum return from Bitcoin without actually understanding what it does. So like Warren Buffett said, if you don't understand something, don't invest in it. Another massive reason is the fact that Bitcoin is... A lot of the people buying Bitcoin are not buying it for its use. So the use of Bitcoin is to be an alternative currency. A currency that is not seen by the government, not regulated, equal everywhere. So 1 Bitcoin in Japan is the same as 1 Bitcoin in the UK, which is the same as 1 Bitcoin in Russia. Everywhere, so it's not impacted by any inflation or exchange rates or anything. So the idea is to buy stuff in Bitcoin, sell stuff in Bitcoin. It's meant to be as a currency. However, a lot of people nowadays are just looking at it as a speculative investment. So what they're doing is they're just buying Bitcoin. They want it to go up so they get dollar gain. So for example, someone down the road will say, oh, you know, Bitcoin's going to go to $1 million. And you see right there, that's the issue. People are just looking at what it will be in dollar amount. So if Bitcoin gets into $1 million, they'll sell for $1 million. They wouldn't want to keep it as a currency itself. So this is the main limiting factor of Bitcoin. As soon as it goes up a little bit, people are going to take profits and exchange it for dollars instead of using it for its intended use, which is as a currency. So I also said people are just FOMOing in, so they're thinking that Bitcoin might go parabolic to $100,000 to $1 million, and they're just going in without doing any research, which is definitely not what I'd recommend. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. Anything I say is for educational purposes only. Make sure you always do your own research before getting in. So if you're watching this video and then you're coming to a conclusion that you want to buy Bitcoin, then you're free to do so. All you need to do is just create an account on Coinbase or Binance. I'd recommend Coinbase for its ease of use, and it's pretty simple to use for any beginners. And just buy Bitcoin. You could also have research into other crypto coins. There's a lot out there with great potential. More potential in my opinion than Bitcoin. Yep, so just create an account. PayPal also allows you to buy crypto, so you can do it on there too. So thank you for watching this video if you got here to the end. I'd really appreciate it if you left a like. It'd really help to grow the channel, and just leave a comment down below what your thoughts are about Bitcoin and any other future video ideas. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.